Yo, welcome back to Very Varied. It's only been like a year, but we're back, and it's not without good reason. A lot of stuff going on, life stuff. We moved, starting business things, all that. It's irrelevant. I'm just happy you're back. Happy spooky season. Happy October. That means we're back at it again. So what I want to talk about today to kind of kick off this October horror month is what I think. Let me think. Yes, my favorite found footage franchise, honestly, like all of them are great, which is House LLC. It is amazing, and that's what we're going to cover today because it is probably one of the most Halloween feeling movies that you could watch. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know, as far as me and Rona, we were looking for something that just feels like Halloween this month. You know, all year is Halloween, right? All year is perfect for horror movies, but when it's October, you want something that is specifically like, it's just got the fall vibes. And that's why I wanted to recommend House LLC to you guys, because if you haven't seen it, it's a hidden gem. So this is why you should check it out. And they're all written and directed by the same guy, Stephen Cognetti. And I think that there's a lot to be said about that, because unlike some franchises, I'm looking at you, Star Wars, everything about this was written to be a trilogy. So you really have a story that spans evenly through 3 films, instead of it was successful, surprised all the people who made it, and then they're in the position of like, okay, well, now we have to come up with an excuse to justify a second one. So that is just apparent all the way through the series, and it's nice that it has that kind of cohesiveness. The first one came out in 2015, and yeah, it's true, like, you know, push came to shove, I would have to say the first one is the strongest of them, but it's not to say like watch the first one and then just like skip the second and third, because while the second may be the weakest in the series in a few regards, it's still by no means terrible or bad at all. It's kind of like that movie in the middle of any trilogy, really, right? It's like, you know, the first act, you know, part 1 is introduction and all the characters and getting to know the world building, all that kind of stuff. Then generally the second film is kind of when you're neck deep in whatever the conflict is, right? And then the third part, you know, you get that epic finale, that epic conclusion. So yeah, you know, by nature, the second film is kind of like in the middle of the weeds as far as that goes, but still, it's fantastic. What these guys were able to do with such a limited budget with these handheld cameras, it makes the Blair Witch Project look like a student film. Like, it's like just no comparison. And I know a lot of people love to glorify the Blair Witch Project or whatever, but that's because of when it came out and no one had seen anything like it before. And I think that really colors a lot of people's opinion of the movie. But if you were to watch this and watch Blair Witch right afterward, there's a very clear difference in the quality, the level of storytelling, and just general scares, entertainment value, period. I remember even as a kid watching the Blair Witch Project before I was even like watching horror movies just like all day, every day, and I found it boring, like incredibly boring. And at the end of the movie, it's a lot of just kind of screaming their asses off at something you never see, and it just felt like didn't do it for me. But as a horror fan, I'm not too proud to tell you that there are numerous times throughout this series I found myself like putting my like face in my hands, or like kind of like glancing away from the screen, like, ugh, you know, because it's just, it gets under your skin. This is probably, I would say, the scariest movie I've seen in the last 10 years. I don't know how, or exactly even like how to put my finger on what it is about it, but the building of suspense with very little that goes into it, you know, just little still frames, and then there's something in the corner. What is that? Oh shit. Oh, that person on camera didn't even see that, and now they're about to go walking down that hallway, and it's like, if you encounter the shit I just saw, it's not gonna be a good time for you, bro. And I mean, shit, that's what you want, right? I mean, it is a fantastic horror movie. It takes place in October. It takes place, I think, leading up to, like, just a couple of days up to, and then, you know, the big opening night, particularly in the first movie, is on Halloween. And so, you know, you've got that, you've got the horror. I'm not a big jump scares fan, but, you know, there are a few in these movies, and I think it's kind of the only time in recent memory I can think of that I haven't felt annoyed at the jump scares so much as just like, yeah, okay, that is a deserved, earned jump scare. It's just quality. It's not just for the sake of, well, you know, it's been about 10 minutes since the last thing that made you jump. Ah! Like, okay, cool. No, like, this is earned. The tension builds, the suspense builds, and it's phenomenal. While the first one was made in 2015, then there was a 3-year gap, and then the second one came out in 2018, and then this most recent one, part 3, is 2019. So also, it's not like this is going through digging up some old obscure, like, you know, like movie that's dated. Like, no, this is all very current, very recent. And so it has a little bit for everybody. The pacing is fantastic. The character development is surprisingly good to be one of these, you know, found footage movies. And, you know, it's easy to kind of just start forgetting people after a certain point in these, you know, because a lot of them is just more the same. And, you know, it's about get to the first scare. And there's a really nice bit in the first movie and the third one as well, where you get some time to really get to know these characters, get to kind of live in their shoes, like see their chemistry, see their relationships with each other in the group, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And also, they have a much more legit reason behind why everything is filmed, all this kind of stuff that, you know, I found is, you know, for a lot of these found footage movies is one of the trickiest things that they always seem to struggle with, which is justifying everything, characterizing these people, making it believable as to why people would so constantly film every little thing, even when they're in the middle of being terrorized and scared. Like, really, in real life, bro? Like, you're getting chased or you think your life's in danger, and then you're like with it enough to like, oh yeah, I've got to film everything. Nah, like, it's just way more believable, way more real in this, and I love it for that. It adds to the scariness. Just the horror value is on point. And we were recently listening to an interview with Stephen Cognetti, and he was talking about also his belief is that, like, CG doesn't belong in horror movies, period, because just, you know, there's that, even if it's on a subconscious level, you can tell, like, something's not real. And when it's horror and it's something as visceral as that, and it's something as instinctively kind of, you know, as evolved with us to this point, you know, it'll throw off the scares. It takes you out immediately, right? So I really appreciate how much practical work is done in these films. It's all the better for it. I'm not gonna lie and say there's no CG. You know, there are a couple of parts, but like literally like 2 or 3 parts through the whole 3 films that have some, but it's nothing in moments that take away from anything and whatever. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's cool. Like, I'll ride with it, I'll roll with it, it's okay. Everything else is so damn good that it's not even an issue. It would just feel like nitpicking if you're like, well, you know, your CG was a little low budget. Well, it's like, well, yeah, we made this with like my allowance from last week. I mean, what do you want? So it's fantastic. So if you guys want to check this out, this whole franchise, man, the first film is available a lot of different platforms, and it's always changing. So, you know, I'm not gonna like say something to you now, recommend it, and then it's like 2 weeks from now and you go and check and it's like a disappointment, it's not there. Just Google it, see what's out there. But part 1 available a lot of places. Now parts 2 and 3 are exclusive to Shudder. So if you don't have Shudder, first of all, like, what are you doing, bro? If you love horror, you need Shudder. I was reluctant, you know, whenever, you know, I came upon Shudder, because it's like, man, do we really want to add yet another subscription streaming service on top of Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Peacock, like, you know, everything under the sun. But I would say out of all the streaming services that we have, I've had the least buyer's remorse with Shudder, because there's constantly just new movies, old movies, like every genre. Like it really is. I know a lot of people say this, but it's true. I mean, it's like the Netflix of horror, but kind of like better. But yeah, man, so hopefully that helps you guys out. And if you haven't seen this franchise and you're really looking for something that's, you know, Halloween as hell for this season and really captures the vibe and then will scare the shit out of you, I think, you know, maybe even the most, you know, ardent horror fan would say so. I want to say thank you. Like, we haven't done a video in like a year, and you know, we still see people commenting and subscribing and all that, and it just means like so much. Really appreciate you guys, and we're not gonna just be a 1 month a year channel, I promise. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys much sooner than later in the next few days. Got some more Halloween content for you to get back in the swing of things. And so yeah, if you found this video helpful, entertaining, so bad it's good, whatever, you know, all the stuff, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We have all the things. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys next time.